Hello everyone, I'm Makoto Fukada. I'd like to talk about a traditional Japanese house with a jointed wooden frame and Tsuchikabe walls, the Kamogawa house in Chiba. I'm the master carpenter behind the famous Sensation, which uses traditional Japanese construction methods for a variety of building projects. Working with my apprentices, I fully oversee every project, from design and carpentry to on-site coordination as a primary contractor. From now on, I ask my friend Takaya Kobayashi, who can speak a little English, to continue the presentation, because I don't usually have the opportunity to speak English, so I'm not very good at speaking in English.
Fukada-san, thank you for your introduction. My name is Takaya Kobayashi. Let's start the presentation. This house in Kamogawa, in the prefecture of Chiba, is a single-story wooden dwelling with a total floor area of 59.5 square meter. It was begun in April 2010 and completed in October 2011. The clients were a couple with two young children. We designed the house with a view to creating a family home. Japan has mostly temperate and humid climate, with frequent earthquakes and typhoons. Over the centuries, house builders have developed unique structures and homes to suit this context, offering sturdiness, durability, and habitability. And while modern building approaches have largely displaced older methods in Japan, a few builders still adhere to tradition. I am one of them. Traditional Japanese building techniques involve a framework combining traditional shikuchi angle joints and tsugite straight joints where timbers are placed end to end for greater length, with Tsuchikabe, wattle and daub walls of mud plaster mixed with straw, ishibadate, pillars standing freely on stones rather than driven into the ground, and other components to create a structure that harnesses the qualities of wood for optimal structural integrity. We used the same formal approach for the Kamogawa house with a structural design and also a floor plan and aesthetic, embracing methods that date back centuries. The various components of the jointed wooden frame, including the pillars, horizontal members, nuki, ashigamoi, and ashigatame, are intricately interlaced with joints. The result forms a fall that stands up to external loads with a kind of flexible resilience, not unlike the way an organism inhabits its environment. The wooden structure rests on cornerstones, but the two are structurally separate. The absence of a bond between the frame and the stones is a key feature of the traditional style. This slide shows a plan view the Kamogawa house wooden structure. The nuki are in orange and the sashigamoi and ashigatame in red. All of the structure's components play a role in connecting the pillars. The nuki provide a framework chiefly for the walls. The sashigamoi span openings, and the ashigatame form ties under the floors. And beyond their structural role, the nuki, sashigamoi, and ashigatame also buttress the building against lateral loads resulting from earthquakes and typhoons. The separation between the wooden structure and the cornerstones is vital when a building is subject to significant lateral load, as the frame can move atop the stones. This detachment keeps the frame free of lateral stress from below and thereby spares the house itself from strain. Next slide shows a standard shikuchi and tsugite arrangement, a traditional Japanese timber building technique. For the layout of the Kamogawa house, we made a compact adaptation of the floor plans common in traditional Japanese farmhouses. At the entrance is an earthen floor extending into a kitchen on the same level. One step above that is wooden floored living room, a place for the family to enjoy time together. Slightly higher are two tatami rooms, and an EKABA stretches along the south side. The tokonoma is slightly above floor level, highlighting its unique role as shady space, a threshold between this realm and the spirit world. Often featuring calligraphy, scrolls, craftwork, flower arrangements, and religious offerings. The tokonoma is a sacred recess that helps balance everyday actuality with a spiritual dimension and gives the dwelling a living heart. Just as the tokonoma had deep significance, the end of a veranda is also more than a place of passage. In traditional Japanese style forms, the engawa is a place to bask in the sun, chat with the guests, put fruit and vegetables out to dry for preserves, or do handicrafts. Most importantly, the engawa is the interface between indoors and outdoors, human domesticity and nature, one world and another, at once separating and uniting the two realms so that they can intermingle. When you sit on tatami mat and gaze over the engawa, through the shady recesses under the eaves and out to the garden or countryside, the moment resonates with dynamic energy. The appeal of the scenery is stronger even than in the finest landscape painting. The engawa makes this magical interface possible. As one of the defining features of a traditional Japanese dwelling, thresholds add a touch of depth to the tokonoma, engawa, and many other elements. The Fusuma and Shoji in the Kamogawa house also have this borderline quality. Fusuma are thin, interlocking lattices of wood between multiple layers of Japanese paper on either side, while shoji have similar lattice work but just one sheet of Japanese paper on one side. Both slide along grooved tracks and are removable. Just pull a fusuma or shoji out of its grooves and you can turn what were separate rooms into a larger space. Fusuma marks spatial divisions, whereas shoji filter light for softer, subtler partitioning. In a traditional house, structure and design are one and the same. The wood and Tsuchikabe forming the house's structure also constitute its aesthetic, as is plain to see in the finishes. Whenever we design a house, we believe we must take what nature offers, instead of just using natural resources and manipulating them into forms of our own. We see nature as something to listen to and learn from. If we are open and receptive, we can sense what will suit trees and earth and stone. Natural materials are free to inhabit their spontaneous, intrinsic shapes, harmonizing easily in a composite world. Our forebears firmly believed that they were merely occupying the world within a natural order. Whatever they did, whether making things or simply going about day to day life, they did it with a sense of respect and awe for the natural world. And though that value system has over time lost its hold, a few of us still adhere to its time honored spirit. Seisha holds those beliefs dear, seeing traditional Japanese houses not just as places to live in, but also as ways of reconnecting with age old insights about dwelling in harmony with the environment. We will continue to draw on the past to craft homes for the future. Thank you for your attention.